Good evening, everyone. We are here for Lunar Phase Online Edition number 16 with Under Night and Birth. Your commentators tonight are myself, Chishichi, alongside
Angel of Soul.
Yep. So we are going to bring you a fantastic show tonight. Please don't mind my avatar. I know it's a little different than usual. Yeah, somebody already mentioning that in the chat. But enough about that. First up, we're going to get Squiddy versus Nicky Videogames, aka Long Island Nick. I believe this matchup is going to be Line versus Nanase. Nicky was our winner last week, I believe, right?
I want to say yes.
Yeah, I think
I should
they
remember
defeated.
because I commentated it. But
Yeah, it was you and Gothana. He defeated, I think it was another Vitista, but the name was escaping me. Stranger. Defeated Stranger. I think Star got third place that time.
Yep.
So, I guess without further ado, we're kind of late here. I think it's about time for us to just go into it. So I'll pass so we can get down to Nick here.
A new sacrifice comes to you.
Data.
Yep. So P1 will be Squiddy versus Nick, who will be P2. The expectation that I have, like, it's been a while since I've played Nanase versus Line. It feels like a little difficult to like set up because normally I would say Nanase wants to get a fireball out first, kind of ahead of Line, and she has great ways to kind of diffuse that. Her run speed gets her in pretty quickly, so I'm interested to see what Squiddy is going to do this time.
Line also has really good aerial mobility, which makes it a little hard for Nanase to lay down a fireball that really covers the approach, right?
Yep.
What do you usually see round start in this matchup? I'm not super familiar, so...
I think a common round start against any character is like up, back, B fireball. We could see a dash up. Yeah, A fireball this time was the fade back. So Nicky decided to jump in response to the second fireball here.
Yeah, he was rewarded with some damage.
Interesting dive coming through there. First big hit really going to Nick here. Already has meter on the table. Uh-oh.
Ooh, that's really bad.
Yep.
I expect Nick is gonna just kind of chill out here. He has a really big HP lead, and he wins 4-pull now, so he has absolutely no reason to get too greedy. So
yeah, we had a pseudo kind of like plus frame situation with the Kuga dash.
Yep.
Probably with slight minus, but you know, the 5-framer still quite good for the dash up there.
Yeah, and it can be hard to press your buttons fast enough to actually make use of those minus frames.
Yep. So far, we've seen 2 straight cycles won by Nick when it was important. He's nursing a big lead. We're gonna see a metered ender. Yep. Ooh.
Yeah, and this should kill. I was expecting that to drop. I had never seen that route before, but yeah, this is definitely over.
And there we go. A quick and efficient finish from Nicky here. So one of the things that like I notice when I play against Nick is that he's pretty willing to up the tempo pretty fast.
Yep.
In contrast, it seemed like he let Squiddy just kind of do what he wanted to try at first, and then just kind of defeated his own like offensive attempts here.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely is feeling like that. A lot of people will get... Sorry.
Big start. Oh no.
That was a misbuffer. 100%.
Force function that was interesting.
Yeah. Bit of a risk, but it worked out. So. Oh, well, that's just it.
Yeah, slight reset. Still wanted the cycle. I mean, the next hit wasn't going to kill, but maybe Nick wanted to go out of their way to win every cycle so far.
That would be saying something.
He's gonna be close to losing it on this one. Yeah, no. I think there's no chance in this. Is what I would have said, but he still almost got the cycle there.
He did. But now it's Squiddy's turn to play, hopefully. He has a lot of meter, he has CS.
the classic. I have CS, so I'm gonna 1D just in case you press something. Classic roll.
Yeah. Nick loves his rolls, and people generally let him get away with it, as we are seeing right here.
Is he gonna die for this? No, 1 bar.
Yeah.
Guess for game scenario. Got rolled on again.
The classic.
That one, I think, was more dangerous than the other ones, just because he still had the potential to late CS in case he was ready to mash.
Yeah.
I want to say like EXDP or something was still going to kill if he mashed against that roll.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah. Or it could have just been like, alright, Squiddy is not responding properly to roll, so we'll just keep running it until it's over. And Nick seems like that kind of player anyway.
Yeah, he definitely does. It can also get him beaten up because he doesn't necessarily rely on it, but he favors it as an option because he's probably because he uses it so much, right?
Yeah, for sure. I know Jikangere from Japan also tends to favor the roll to change up the tempo there, and I don't know if Nick styles himself after Jikangere, but it's entirely possible.
Yeah, and a lot of Uni is about controlling the rhythm, because when you have control of the rhythm, you win grid, you hit your opponent, you get your throws off, and that's kind of what we saw there, right?
Exactly. I think up next, we're going to have EnDEVor, who is already in the room, versus Athos. That should be Akatsuki versus Eltnum. EnDEVor, I think, also entered the last one.
He did.
If I recall correctly. I don't know how he did.
He almost he had a couple of games where if he had just a little bit more, he would have taken the match and probably the set too. I'm hoping that he's working on shoring up those weaknesses. He had a lot of combo drops, couple of misinputs, but all in all, I think he's a contender for the bracket. I'm not super familiar with Athos, so you would probably be a better judge of who you think has the advantage here.
Athos, I am more familiar with. I believe he also plays in the WAST tournaments, the Wagner, Katsuki, Seth, etc. bracket. And I'm pretty sure I've played him before, both in LP when I was still entering online tournaments and in other kind of miscellaneous events. He seemed like he had a pretty solid control of the Akatsuki matchup. Like, I've had difficulty finishing rounds against him. As far as EnDEVor goes, I don't know how much experience he has against Eltnum either. So I'm really interested to see how this set is going to go.
Yeah, me too. I haven't seen a lot of this matchup, especially with the changes from ST to clear. So I'm excited to see how neutral plays out, especially. What are your thoughts on neutral in clear in this matchup?
Well, everyone that knows me knows that I kind of struggle against Eltnum. I don't particularly like it. Gunshot, I think, does quite a good job of policing Akatsuki's dash momentum, going into his normals and things like that. And people who are better against Akatsuki know that part of stopping his offense is pressing pressing their normals into him before he's able to get started. And Eltnum can do that with a relatively safe, option in Gunshot. You still have to play the same RPS on defense. You have to worry about 2B if you're trying to walk back to bait other options. It can become really difficult to fight her up close and close the distance. But I know players who are more willing to jump, so you have things like ICJ6C, which is a powerful tool to be able to use, can find some success in the matchup. So I think the big key is is Athos going to let EnDEVor jump, or is he going to shut that down by waiting a little longer?
I see.
We're gonna go straight into it. Oh, the other thing about Gunshot 2 is that it neutralizes Fireball pretty well, and everyone knows that I like Fireball. So
Yeah, well, Fireball's a pretty good button, so I would hope.
hope that you have to neutralize that for sure.
Yeah.
So no Gunshot, just neutral dash up on the start. Ooh, got clipped by Tatsu. So that's another important component is Outnum likes to push lows, and Tatsu is quite good at getting over them.
Definitely. I am well versed in that, so I can imagine that it's the same kind of thing. But we see
we saw a 4D there.
Yeah, I want to say that was probably a misinput. 4D is a very risky wake-up option, but
that was a good parry. Yeah, that was a dangerous proposition, trying to go in for a slower attack when Outnum has meter. Okay.
Good throw.
Crouch shield, throwing off the timing. That was a nice throw to end that first round.
Yeah. And Athos starts with dash forward parry.
Yep. Now, dash parry is an answer for people who are willing to press into your dash. Obviously, if people don't do anything, it's a little bit dangerous.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so this scenario is really dangerous for him. The gunshots really do well at neutralizing attacks coming in, and CS allows for a conversion in case you get hit. He just gets hit by the assault. I think he's still gonna have to spend some meter to. Never mind.
That's a hard combo to finish because of all of the proration. But yeah, I kind of feel like EnDEVor is playing a little too aggressively. And it's not working out because he's running into the bullets, like you were explaining, right?
Yeah. I actually, in contrast, think that EnDEVor's aggressive starts have worked pretty well.
Yeah.
It's just that he had two parries that didn't turn into anything because of combo choice. Okay, nice.
Caught the dash block.
Okay. Yeah. Went for 6B 2 times in a row. Players are usually going to try to mash on that. Ooh. Yeah. Too slow. Yeah. Okay. We're probably going to see a side switch here. Yeah.
I like that DP a little because it wins the side. Ooh, that was risky.
I don't like that CS into parry. Really just relying on people mashing in that situation.
Yeah.
Akatsuki has advantage there just by dashing up with Warple. Wake up throw. Okay.
Interesting.
Fireball. Yeah. He doesn't have meter to protect himself now, which is the unfortunate conclusion to that round.
Yeah. He had gotten a lot of damage in too.
Yeah,
by the last one.
Yep. That's the situation that a Fireball kind of like struggles with against Outnum here. Uses EX Fireball for plus frames. TK parry! Nice. So what are you going to do with this knockdown? Another parry.
Oh my god.
Okay. Oh, tried to parry 3 times in a row. So now you have to fight out of the corner. Good shielding will get him to cycle.
And
the backstep lost it.
Oh my god.
Marathon Ender unfortunately didn't do anything with it. Oh! Yeah. 6B gets called out again.
Yeah, and that was really smart by Athos. They're seeing that EnDEVor is like just pressing the buttons as much as possible. So it's really low risk to just kind of freeform DP right there, right?
Good parry. I think a full combo would have gotten him the round there. Okay, that was quite good.
Yeah.
Thought that Tatsu was going to happen, so he tried to shield the second hit.
Good throw.
Okay. Wait. Good
like
backstep to get out of the flush frames. I like that as well. Yeah. Even though it only canceled the last hit, EX Fireball cancel is still going to come through and kill you.
Yeah. One of the... another classic. That was getting meatied into the super flash, which is why it was such a funky looking interaction right there.
And then again, that crouch timing to throw off the immediate tech,
Mm-hmm.
and then it just throws him again to finish it. So
Yeah.
Athos will move on into the next round. I think, Star had 2-0 June, so that next round will be Athos versus Star. To kind of continue with the point here, hold on, let me come off a pass myself so EnDEVor can not have to worry about that. Oh, he's still in battle. But I think the big thing here was that EnDEVor didn't really like stretch his combos out. We saw combos like straight into air throw off of the parry.
Yep.
But parry can obviously combo into 214A, which allows you to lengthen your combos for variable like knockdowns, depending on what you want. But by shortening his combo, especially in the last one, in Game 2, Round 2, he kind of forewent the ability to take the kill. Because I think optimal or pseudo-optimal combo does about 1700. And I think that was going to chew through the last bit of health from Elton, unfortunately.
I definitely think so too. He was losing about if 1700 is about right. He was losing 500 damage per combo, which is basically 100 meter, right? That's a lot of damage to be leaving on the table.
Yep, for sure.
And it's one of those things. It would have. Wasn't the round he won wasn't the only round that he got Athos down to that critical portion of health.
Yep, for sure.
And having a little bit of extra damage, not only on those parry combos, but on the other interactions that he had, would have let him take more rounds, which is kind of what I was trying to illustrate back before the match when I was talking about what I thought of how he plays and how well I think he's going to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. EnDEVor knows, because like we've talked in the past, I'm kind of a stickler for combo theory and knockdown theory and things like that. So I'm sure he can hear in my voice kind of the critique that I would have for him in the future. But I'm pretty sure you're in the chat here. So if you want to talk to me later about this set, just hit me up. I can probably stream it and go through a VOD review or whatever. So it won't be too bad. So I think next up we will have.
Next up,
are we running
some shilling?
Oh, we're gonna have some shilling. Okay.
Yo.
Yep. We have our Matcherino, which is refreshing on the page here. We got our Lunar Phase Online Edition number 16 Uniclear. There's already $1.40 in the prize pool. Thank you to Wish, aka Gallant Horn. Love that icon. You can add it to the Matcherino by clicking through and retweeting Will English, Matcherino again, and NYC Furby, which will add variable amounts of money to the pot.
Yeah, and unfortunately the promo code that we have here hasn't actually been activated yet.
I was gonna say, I tried to use it just now and it wasn't responding well.
You know, but still consider donating directly if you have the means to do so.
And if you want to grab a Lunar Bout t-shirt, the Athena or Terry, you can grab one of those and I'll also add more than half of the price straight to the pot.
That's super sick too. I'm digging the Athena tee, and
I know, right?
Even a little bit more than the t-shirts themselves. I'm digging that SNK, like there's finally some help from SNK. We know that KOF 15 is going to have rollback as qualified rather by SNK Oda this morning.
Oh, wait,
So-
hold on, wait, what was that?
Hmm?
Oh, the $20 from Angel. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Shoutouts to Angel as per usual.
But yeah, no, that's incredible news. I'm really surprised that they hadn't said anything about it so far.
Roundtable, I think maybe some of the feedback from post roundtable gave them more incentive to want to make a statement and get ahead of a couple things. I know a few people were vocal about wanting this game to have rollback.
Quite a few. I'm guessing that they wanted to wait until it was further along to make announcements about it. But I mean, even just saying that they're working on it is enough to make people happy, as long as they're trying.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Looks like there's another $20 that just been added to the prize pool. Wonder where that came from.
Good question.
Very, very good question.
One PPPM Schmeat.
Or Bodega CFO, or whatever you want to call me. I decided to drop a little bit in there. Just got paid today, so I'm happy to support Lunar Phase and the players playing in it.
There you go.
Thanks so much for donating on top of already donating your time.
It's not a problem. Usually happy to do it. Up next, we have Long Island Nick, aka Nicky Videogames, and he will be playing against Orochi, aka Shinobi. This will be Akatsuki versus Line. Orochi, I think maybe a bit unfairly, has been, I think, compared to me as far as his offensive styling and timing.
Sure.
I think that he toes the line. Like there's a kind of spectrum of Akatsuki players between like going in and waiting. I would say that Orochi is a lot more patient, at least when I play him. I've heard from other people that maybe he's not so patient. But as far as my understanding of him, he tends to wait a little bit more for his opportunities. And that makes me really interested to see how he'll deal with Nicky, considering that like when I play Nicky is a lot more willing to be active. And I'm just kind of like passively taking in what he's going to try to do.
Yeah.
Both players are very strong players. Obviously, Nicky just won the last Lunar Phase. Orochi has placed very well in various events as well. So I'm really, really excited to see where that's going to go.
Me too. So what do you think the important parts of this matchup are going to be for Orochi, given that you have the perspective on Akatsuki?
Don't throw too many errant fireballs. Because of clash like Kuga Dash, she can also jump them into her own Air Kuga series.
Yeah.
She can force function the fireball to roll. The other bits of information to note is that it's very easy for Line to deal with Assault, from force function to 2 being underneath it. To dashing, like there are various things, and comboing the character is also a little difficult too. You'll have to adjust your routing.
Yeah, she's
So
super small.
Yeah, round start. We're seeing that walk back from Orochi to try to size up the space between them. Ooh, nice correction from Nick. Almost. That last hit of the Rekka is very minus.
Oh, he got the hit, but then he dropped the confirm. It was such a powerful hit too.
Early shield on the dash up. Yeah, we're gonna DP to get ourselves out of the situation. Oh,
I get hit by that all the time.
yeah, it's really difficult to deal with. I really like Nick's usage of backwards movement and backdash to control the ranges where Akatsuki can dash at him. One of the things that I do advise, Orochi tried to do it. Line is also another of those characters that pushes long lows like 2C. So Tatsu and jump is really good. Oh no. But you do also have to worry about tools like 6-6C and 5C.
Yeah.
Check that sort of movement. Fuzzy Dash gets called out by delay throw.
Oh,
DP
no.
gets called out again too. So Nick's switch up from like kind of like the passive grounded movement to the intense aerial movement in the second round, I think really threw Orochi for a loop. So I wonder what his adjustment is going to be.
Yeah, it was all the way. It was from the very first interaction that Nicky engaged in that. So it was just a completely different game.
Yep. If there is one thing that I think is a great strength of Nick, is he's willing to mix up the options that he chooses from the first start. So we saw, dash C again. That's to check a dash and to check, check fireballs, check various things horizontally. Okay. Yeah. Didn't bite on that.
Good whip punish.
Yeah, very good. So, not strong Oki here, but still caught him jumping. Maybe caught a 2A there on the counter hit. Not gonna spin anything yet. Oh, what a roll. Okay. There we go. Finally got himself out. We're gonna see a side switch maybe? Yeah. Interesting. Okay. So you have to be careful. Tatsu, still good. Still has the cycle until the veil off happens. So now you have a bunch of meter. Air unblockable. What? An adjustment. Spin the meter and you might kill him. Never mind.
He may have been worried that the combo was too risky to continue.
So Orochi doesn't have a whole lot of time. Tatsu gets stopped. Okay. Oh wow, still got to the other side. Probably air throw. Unfortunate. So Nicky is going to run. Last cycle going to Orochi. Oh, he missed the micro dash. Late CS? Yeah. But you still have to do something. Nick is going to run CS. Oh my god. That's it. If he EX-DP'd, I think he won right there.
Yeah, there are definitely a lot of ways he could have played that to win. Ooh, classic. One of the big issues I'm seeing for Orochi is that even if Nicky is doing something that's minus or really leaves him in a lot of recovery, he just doesn't have the buttons pressed to take advantage.
Very good meaty situation in 5C. You have to late CS that's really minus. Nice, good clear. Air throw back. Probably could have gotten a little bit more damage, but he wanted the knockdown. Uh-oh. So Nick spent everything, and we're just going to confirm that. There's both meter and CS to use to confirm. And Orochi on the board. So this metered situation is actually quite good for Orochi. He can make a couple things safe if he needs to. Oh, got rolled on. So Nick is going to get to 100 meter.
And take Warple. That hit was incredibly important to win the cycle right there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the dash C was still active. Okay. Went for another meaty. Yeah, you don't get to press again. That's -4. Even delay mash on good timing can stop Akatsuki from moving. Yeah.
Interesting.
Setting up the roll situation. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Good block there. Oh
no!
That's actually really hard to deal with for Akatsuki, I think.
Yeah. Wins Warple.
Yeah, spins it immediately. So what is Orochi gonna do? Yeah! The delay force function on the ICJ6C was calling out. Really, like, Nicky only needed one more hit, and that was it. So that was a unfortunate situation for him. I think the double roll after pushing himself out after the meter, like if Orochi decided to like Tatsu immediately there, he was probably going to whiff Line and then, she probably rolled to the other side and that's a punish. So you really just have to wait there. I think like the answer is to like delay DP or just delay throw. Maybe hold 4 for a back throw. It's a tricky situation, especially if you aren't used to seeing it. So I don't really fault him for falling for that.
Yeah, I know I get hit by it all the time when I play Brandon.
Yep. It's hard. So up next we have the delay-based masochist, aka StarXunderscore, versus Athos, who had defeated EnDEVor prior to this set. This is our second winner semifinals match. I'll go ahead and pass up. Athos already ready. He'll be player 2 side. We'll need Datagram to pass. Yep. So Star player 1, Athos player 2. For now, Star gets to dodge one of the matchups that he hates, which is Line. Even though he'll have to play it in winners finals, assuming that he wins the set against Athos. So this matchup I'm not like super familiar with. I know you played Altnum
For a bit,
For
yeah.
a bit. Do you have any insight on Gordo here?
Neutral is hard. And it only got worse with the lack of progenital bullets, right? I expect it to be a lot of Gord winning neutral just because it's hard to advance properly, especially in net play. And that's kind of what we're seeing right here, right?
Yeah, there's strong control with force function as we saw here. Nice simulation. Just gonna wait. The mid anti-air is the dive kick there. Probably a delay CS? No, delay dash or back dash instead. So late CS, just gonna wait. Yeah.
Fun fact, Reaper CS is only +11.
Yes. Yep. Faded to DP, fuzzy, yeah.
Yeah, this would
That'll be the round.
Ooh. I think he could have killed with the sim follow-up, but does not hurt to be sure.
So what I like so far is Star is keenly aware of the range of like 5C and 2C. So he was standing at the perfect position there. Oh no, immediately gives up a veil off. He's still gonna have a lot of like time left on this veil off.
And that's it.
And yeah.
This round's over.
Yeah. This game will be over assuming that there's no drop from Star. Yep. Smart adjustment to go into CBO.
Yep.
Cash out.
Make it easy. You don't have a second round to play. You don't have another round to play through because you already won the first one. One thing from what I've learned from playing Hilda against this character is a lot of the time you have to be out of range of Cord, which kind of feels bad if you're a close range character. But it prevents him from actually getting mileage out of backdashing that much, right? He spends the grade to get out of range and not be able to stop you from doing something, right? That's my opinion, though.
I think as far as Altnum goes, like the range where we saw like the tip of that 6-6C,
yeah,
that's the range that Altnum doesn't want to be in the most.
Yep.
Even her best horizontal tool, hit him with the late JB. Her best horizontal move, which is probably gunshot at that range, can get backstep. Like this range right here is bad. He had to run back in. No side switch. We're gonna keep him mid screen, veil off. Okay.
No meaty, gets smashed.
Okay. So, yeah, good throw. Oh, unfortunate drop, but it's still not going to matter.
Oh my gosh, he has no bullets either. This is really bad.
Yeah. Oh, that was a very dangerous reload. Gets clipped by...
Oh.
Force spot. Oh!
Okay. Punish it, punish it!
Does he know how to punish it? There it is. Perfect.
Sorry, I've never punished that super in my life, so it's good to see it go punished.
Yeah, I'm not very good at punishing it myself, to be honest.
I always feel like I'm gonna lose when I try to punish.
Oh, yo, double throw. Yeah, we're just gonna wait. This is a big lead. Like, those two throws did a lot.
Yeah.
Now Athos is quite behind in this round. Nice. Went for like late timing on 6-6C. But that delay DP was really smart. Unfortunately, he runs into the stop sign of 4B. Yep. Should win the cycle on that. Bust out, yeah. Side switch. Has to be very careful. What a whiff punish with the backdash! He didn't even really walk up to elicit the response. He just knew the timing that Athos wanted to input his option selector. Another whiff punish with Mortal Slide. Fantastic range control from Star. Okay, just gonna wait. Yeah. He was fine giving up his turn. He still had the corner. He can spin some meter here. Unfortunate setup. What are you gonna do? Yep, CS to wait. Oh my god, sweet!
Oh, the spacing was perfect.
Yep. So, got one more guess. Yeah, just gonna run away. Cycle to Gordo. Probably... Do you really want to strip here?
No. Never.
Yeah, I think you take the damage. Yeah, you're too far behind. So you have to cash out here.
Yeah, well...
Because the IW knockdown is still a solid knockdown for
It
Elton,
is.
I think.
It is.
And you want that damage that you lost out on by going for the strip.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, 2B, that's a big starter.
Classic combo. Let's see him. Good. He pays attention as well as counts. So next hit will kill him.
Yeah.
Oh.
Meatied with 5A. I think Star thought that something else was going to happen.
Yeah.
Maybe JACS or something like that.
Yeah.
But just got mashed on.
Anything wins there for Athos, right? He has the CS and the meter. There's no, he doesn't need funny business to win. So Star's in a terrible position.
I love 660. It's such a cool move. Unfortunately, his sim gets counter hit.
Side swap plus 3k. It's not bad. Ooh, he was so
Unfortunately, Athos pressed a few too many buttons to win that cycle. I was talking with Axel when I did VOD review of him versus Dosada, where I think the 5B tick is quite strong for Elton.
Definitely.
And I would have liked to see it there.
Yeah, drops?
I don't think I've ever seen, I don't think I've ever seen that whiff like that.
I think it might have been a little bit too late, so that the height was wrong, right?
So Star on set point here. Nice. That catches. I think the length got increased in this version of the game too.
The length of what?
214B. The length of the hitbox for 214B. Athos fighting his way in the second game, or excuse me, in this last game quite well.
I like that meter spend.
Yeah.
And that's an okay
CS use, yeah.
CS use. It's unfortunate because I was not ready for that follow-up air normal, actually.
Yeah. With Gord 2C force function and 214B, I thought that was a pretty risky proposition. Nice damage cash out here. Yeah, not too much going on with that CS. Then he gets clipped again. Cycle goes to Athos. Yeah, we're gonna gunshot.
Nice gunshot. Nice gunshot.
I think a couple things could have hit here. B gunshot and 2C, I think also would have caught that backdash. Nice DP. Okay.
Yeah, now he'll think twice about actually taking those ball strings, right?
Oh no, that's quite bad. Star is in trouble. This is a lot of damage. I feel like you use a meter.
100%. I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that. I think you take your knockdown.
And if you're gonna do this, you have to shield immediately when you go into block slips so you win the cycle.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
now you don't have a whole lot
miss.
of resources. Yeah.
Your opponent now has 300 effective meter.
Yep.
Oh, he should have spent some of it, but you know. Shield, please. Come on, shield. Okay,
I
there
like
goes
that CS. That went all of his potential meter, and he still gets 2B'd. So after this combo is basically a guess for game scenario. Wake up 2C, let's go!
Some people have no chill, man.
Did you say guess for game? I know what I'm pressing on wake up.
Oh, wow!
Just got thrown.
And he takes it.
Yeah.
What a good comeback. He got dominated that first game, right?
Yeah. That was an interesting end of game decision for both players. I thought Star, like, I know that, like, Gordo has access to, like, no meter VL strips. I would have assumed in both cases, like, with a combo off of 2C and the combo that he had before he spent his CS, that you almost certainly have to spend some meter there, right? Like, at least take the life lead differential.
Yeah. Better Oki, more grid, especially because Gord's got that 236C ender, which is so much grid.
Yeah.
Right. And then he ended the game with be a sim, and he had 200 meter, and he could IWEX to try to kill.
Yep.
Which arguably is better than not attempting it at all and getting put in the situation he ended up being put in, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that is important data for both players to review. Athos will be moving on in spite of a potential meter gaff. And Star, I'm sure, is kicking himself a little bit about how he used his meter.
Yeah, he definitely would have killed if he had just spent his meter a little earlier, right? If he gets that first 100 meters spent on the 236C or the 22C, whatever you want to spend it on, that's the 500 damage. Then you get 100 meter back from the CS that you use rather than having it just overflow, and you can do IWEX with a guarantee for the kill, right?
Exactly. So with that, concluding that set, Athos, as mentioned before, Athos will move on to winners finals to play against Nick. Star, unfortunately, will fall to losers quarterfinals. He'll play against Wyrmidon. We also have Orochi in June. June had defeated EnDEVor 2-0. I don't know if we are going to play those losers quarters before winners finals. I think we're still waiting on the home base to give us kind of the call for our next match here.
Yep.
Which sounds like there's plenty of time for me to check on the Matcherino again.
Absolutely. So we're at 4250, thanks to contributions from Angel of Soul, Jushichi, whoever that guy is, Gallant Horn, aka Wish, and Makaya FGC. Thank you everyone for donating to the Matcherino, and I hope that some of the viewers watching will also consider donating for us. Unfortunately, the code was not able to activate in time, so you'll have to use the contribution button as presented here instead of doing that.
Yep, and be sure to check out the sponsor requests on the sidebar. These are social media actions that you can use to contribute to the bot for free if you don't want to spend your own money. Just, a few retweets here and there can easily add up. Also check out the store here if you want to buy some Lunar Bout merch. Celebrate that SNK rollback announcement.
I'm definitely looking forward to Athena in that game. I want to play her again.
Oh yeah, I wonder what she's going to be wearing this time around.
Yeah, they've, I think, changed her outfit up among the most of characters between the versions of the game. And we've seen some new designs for Benimaru, for example. Kyo and Iori decked out in some new threads. I'm excited to see some of the other characters continue to be added, some of the other teams, lining up. I hope they will shatter our expectations for sure. So, I guess, let's see. Match calling. Okay, I believe Manta told the players not to play losers quarters yet, so I'd have to imagine that we will be getting them on the stream. I'm hoping that we will get to see June versus Orochi first. June is a player that I know that I ran into, excuse me. I'm going to use past tense because I don't play Uni Online anymore. June is a player that I ran into pretty frequently, like in ranks. I would try to play them in player lobbies, but there's 3 different Junes in the Uni Discord, so I always messed up on finding the specific one that was around, unfortunately. So I say that to say this. June should have a relative wealth of experience in fighting against Akatsuki.
Yeah.
I wonder what sort of adjustments or how Orochi is going to approach that particular matchup. Also, we have another, I think, kind of classic matchup between Gordo and Mika in Star versus Wyrmidon.
Yeah.
I think, or I've always thought that matchup kind of sucks for Gord. I know that Star has nursed quite a few different characters as he's been playing.
Yeah.
I know he's working on his own Mika right now. He's streamed a couple times that I've popped in on. He has a Wagner. I think he has a Byakuya. So there are a myriad of choices that he can make if he decides that Gordo is not the play in this particular matchup.
Star says he's doing the mirror.
He's going to do the mirror. I see.
That could just be a bluff.
Not to give it Oh, yeah. I won't give unsolicited advice to players, especially if they're about to play. But I don't think Mika is wise. I guess I would say.
Player mate.
I
Alright.
will give unsolicited advice and recommend that you check out our merchandise.
Absolutely.
I
That
segue
is-
ruined by this page not loading. But
Would have been a transition worthy of Sejam. Unfortunately, the technology was not cooperative.
It's just not there yet, you know?
Yeah. We do have the Wagner of Liberty. We got the chopped cheese. Man, I'm missing New York so bad. Got the dice roller logo.
New York's
No
missing
knife,
you.
no hope. Yeah, shout outs to New York. I think that is Shiki. I'm gonna need you to scroll down the page a little bit, Data. I can't shill everything.
that is Shiki.
Yep, got the No Life, No Hope. Got the Neo Shiki, Aoko. Got those wonderful Lunar Face shirts. You can't see it, obviously, but I'm wearing one. I have the, if you scroll down a little bit more, sorry. That tee right there, the logo solid white on the square. I have that tee. I love that tee. It has fantastic material. I actually, curiously enough, my mom was like, hey, I want one of the tournament shirts. I was like, okay, I'll buy the Lunar Phase one, because, you know, some events are like,
Yeah.
if you are a normie, quote unquote, the anime like kind of design is a bit of a turnoff.
Sure.
What I liked about the Lunar Phase shirt in particular is you could be really into astrology or astronomy, and nobody would know. Who knows? You know, if you're talking about your favorite tournament series based out of the Northeast, or if you just love lunar phases, who knows? It's an interesting discussion topic for sure. Yeah, I also come from that generation, Spinach. I hide my power level, so to speak.
Yeah, shoutouts to Domino for the design. Definitely
Absolutely.
super happy with how it turned out.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I know some of our earlier merchandise, like the dice rolling shirt and the Wagner of Liberty. Shoutouts as always to Cho Goku Osaru, my homie. Big fan. If you like my emotes, they were all designed by him. So I will shill him every time I get a chance to.
He's
Big
great.
love to that guy.
That's all the designs at the top here. Great stuff as always. I think the No Knife No Hope that's a JG original.
Yep.
And Agent Neil did the Shiki shirt. Turned out super awesome. Also did the I believe also did the Terry design for the Lunar Bout.
Yeah, Agent Neil also did the Aoko, as you can see. So
Alright.
up next, it seems like we're running Star, even though he just lost. He's already in the room here. So I guess
It's been a while.
yeah, the assumption here is that we're going to run Star versus Wyrmidon first. We're just waiting on Wyrmidon to join the room. 5B enthusiast, I'm definitely one of those.
I can get behind 5B.
Yeah, you utilized 5B quite a bit in our exhibition set last week.
I
So
did.
I
That's a good
believe
button.
that.
I'm not a 2B fan though. That button can go to hell.
I'm definitely a Merkava 5B enthusiast.
Mm-hmm. So, looks like we're going to get Star in player 1 versus Wyrmidon player 2. Presumably, we're going to see the Mika mirror.
Oh no. Oh
No,
good.
okay, we're going to see Gordo instead. I hope Star, like his positioning against Athos before it kind of like slipped away from him was really good in the first game.
Yeah.
He will need it as Mika's 6-6B terrorizes this character, especially through backsteps and things like that.
Yeah. That move is so meaty.
But the first slide goes to Star instead. 3C slipping in and catching it. Nice mash there. Oh no.
Good throw.
Very good tech, which basically guaranteed in the cycle there.
Frame traps.
Manipulation. So next hit probably should have some meter being spilled. No, I don't think he'll need it here.
No. Definitely not. Well played. It's 660 CH in the corner. That's gonna be a lot of damage, right?
Oh my.
Oh, I got hit.
Yeah, I got hit too.
It's so hard to shield those properly. I've only done it in one set of mine, and I had to be like you have to pay so much attention to it to actually shield it. And he gets a really good 3B to catch the backdash.
Yeah, that 3B was fantastic. CS into the standing low. I would have liked to see some meter get spent there, but he can use it for protection here. Although it's not as protective against fry frame characters.
Yeah.
Oh no,
big
big counter hit, but no pickup. 5BB enthusiast.
Yeah, one of the main highlights of last tournament was watching Wyrmidon use and abuse 5BB to its fullest. So I'm glad that we're getting to see more of that here.
Another 3C, this time the counter hit, starting off the match for Star. Okay. That was a very good shield to make sure he got the cycle. Yeah. CS. Yeah. Plus 5B. Very good tech.
Yeah. I kind of want to see...
Oh, please, go ahead.
Yeah, I kind of want to see Wyrmidon. Wyrmidon's got, what, 4 throws tech right now? You can kind of tell from the amount of grid he's given away. I'd like to see him do something else, like a 6XP or an Assault JC. Ooh, smart position.
I'd like to see a Reaper there, actually. I don't know if there was anything Mika could have done there. Okay. There we go. This is a big starter. Or it would have been if he was able to pick it up. Nice shield. Even better VO. Okay. So what are you going to do? There's no grid for Mika to utilize to get himself out, or to get herself out of that situation. Yeah.
I really like that CS on Star's part, though. It gave him the right amount of meter. What a great
The situation is dangerous, but we're just going to run straight into the Reaper. Is that going to be enough? Just barely not. Oh, that was so good. That was so good. The TK Mortal to hop. That was a 50-50 scenario, basically.
That was a that was 360C, and you're not reacting to that online, let's be real. Yeah. So it was really smart, but it was also like super risky, so respect.
If he did EXTP instead,
if he did anything else, it would have been death, right?
Yeah, no concentrate in my face. I'm going to mash instead. Good call out from Star. Ah, fantastic frame trap there.
Gets him the corner and gives him a good position to win the Warple cycle. He catches the 236C meaty.
Mids are quite good at stopping Mika from being able to do that. Uh-oh, 5BB.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunate drop, though. Yeah, was waiting on the shield, got VL instead. Okay. So no matter what, Star was getting the cycle. Probably would have liked to see CS IW to get some meter back. Oh, counter hit 2B. And that's 6 frames for those people who are used to ST, where it was 7. Nice sim. Yeah, we're gonna wait. I've guaranteed the cycle. There's not too much else. Yeah. Oh! That was a good shield, and then he held up. Mika was locked out of her actions after that shield on the up.
I don't think he was ready for the exact trajectory that Wyrmidon had chosen. I know I wouldn't have been ready for it.
Probably... Well, no, that was a stand shield. Okay, we're just gonna throw over and over. CS! Yeah. Would have loved to see a 2-2C come out from Star this time. TK Mortal.
Kind of want to see Wyrmidon just 5Aing there.
Yeah, I would too. Not too much of an answer that Star has for that outside of a true reversal.
Yeah, and true reversal there, I guess, is not too risky given the lead.
Yep.
But, you know.
Star was playing with confidence at that point, so, you know, can't be too mad at him for utilizing that as much as possible. It seems like he was trying to make a statement.
Yeah, I mean, and it was definitely made. Pretty clear victory there for Star.
Yep. I was a pretty contested set up to that point, but he definitely ran away with that round. So, up next here we have Orochi versus June, presumably, unless we are going to cut through to some advertisements, which does not seem to be the case. We talked about this a little bit before. Akatsuki versus Vatista, not a particularly good matchup.
We talk about this a lot, though. It's not. Yeah. This is definitely one of our main topics of discussion because it's kind of the two sides of the two extremes of the spectrum, right? Of uni, right?
Yeah, for sure. June, if I recall correctly, because it's been a little while since I played them, is a 6xc enthusiast. And that button, no matter what character is on the opposing side of the screen, is a potent button. Maybe Hilda, not so much.
No, that I don't think there's a single matchup that button isn't good in because of how good its hitbox is.
Yeah,
it's so high. If you look at the data, it catches dive kicks routinely for reasons that are unbeknownst to the dive kick clan of uni, I guess.
Yeah, I tried a lot of different things to beat this move at round start. I tried like up back J2C. I tried fade back, ICJC. Fade back JB, and it shredded all of those. Like I often joke that like as much as people love to meme or complain or play up Tatsu, like Vatista basically has a better Tatsu on forward C. Like that move is militant.
Yeah. It seriously affects the way you have to play round starter in every matchup, Hilda included. You basically have to just neutral jump back to deal with the character at round start because you don't have any options that's going to beat laser or it's going to beat 60C. I mean, even jump back is super hard because Vatista is very small. It makes combos on her really difficult.
And kind of jump back, even though it's presented as an answer in some matchups. For Akatsuki, maybe not so much. Because if you give Vatista too much space, she sets up a gem. Whether it's jump gem or stand gem or whatever. And now you are behind the 8-ball as well. That's a part of what makes the matchup difficult. Okay, Nick has joined the room. I guess we will be transitioning into winners finals instead of...
Yeah, so it turns out that match, that losers quarters match had already happened off stream.
I see.
So
June, damn. I feel pretty sad. I would have liked to see that matchup. But June has won his set already. That was a 2-0 victory. So eventually we'll get June versus Star in losers semifinals, but that will be after winners finals, where we're going to have Athos versus Nick.
I'm excited.
We really talked a lot about that matchup, and I didn't even get to see it, unfortunately. Well, we'll see June for the first time in his rematch against Star, I believe. He was sent to the losers 2-0 in the second round by Star. So we have Altman versus Line. This is a New York classic if I've ever seen one.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, there are quite a few, at least when offline was a thing. I think Line
there are a lot of
was
Lines.
a common thing. And then you would see Fox going pretty far. He would often have to fight his way through 3 different Lines.
3 different Lines, 3 different Wagners.
Just I was gonna say
walk yourself up to the top 8.
The only matchup that comes to mind is more classic is Line versus Wagner.
Yeah, Line versus Wagner for sure. But as a former, or maybe still current on the side, Eltnum player, do you have any insight on Eltnum versus Line?
Hard to say. I didn't really enjoy playing Eltnum against Brendan, so I didn't take the time to put in a lot of effort to play that matchup versus other matchups where I was more interested in taking an Eltnum and maybe using it as a serious sub. But It's one of those matchups where Linne's air shenanigans really mess you up. One of the problems Eltnum has, and I think you can see this just by watching the character, is dealing with people jumping isn't simple. Sure, she has gunshots, right? But those are all air blockable, and 3C did get buffed this version because you can rebeat it, but it's still a really awkward button to press. At least in my experience, it feels kind of slow for the character, and it's not nearly as big as some of the other anti-airs characters who play in a similar range, like Hyde have, right?
Yep.
So against a character that's as small as Linne and as fast as Linne and has as many air movement options as Linne, it's not really an answer. And then, so what are your answers then? Well, you can try to air, which is I don't think is a reasonable strategy, if that makes sense. Especially in, like, Uni is not a game where air-to-air is something that you want to pay attention to as a focus area, in my opinion. So what are you left with? Well, B gunshot, A gunshot. But those are both air blockable, and you lose. It dies to Kuga in this version, so what are you going to do? I guess you'll trade it with Kuga, and you'll just kind of be happy with that, but you wasted a bullet. Your opponent moved around to where they wanted to be, and then your frame data is not particularly better than Linne at every of the ranges. I think Linne 2C is 12, while Alt 2C is 13. Linne 5B or 2B is 6 frames. I forget which one.
5B.
Yeah, and Alt's 5 and 2B are 7 and 8 frames. Both have 5 framers, of course, but
Eltnum's is locked behind 2A, of course.
Yeah, and it's locked behind 5A.
2A. Oh, 5A, sorry. 2A is 6, you're right.
Yeah, and Eltnum has this problem where she can whiff cancel her 2A in Vorpal, and that can cause more trouble than it's worth sometimes because of, for example, baiting VOs or dealing with DPs.
So the round start interaction is trying to chase Nicky, who decided to backdash, and losing that exchange.
I kind of want to see Athos try to use 6xc as a threat. It's very good at going over things and catching airborne activity, which is kind of what this matchup's about, right?
That move is air unblockable in this version, which was a change from ST.
Ooh, this is really bad.
Yeah, very, very bad. Okay. Yeah, went with an extended string, but it didn't really feel like there was too much of a threat to Nicky there.
Yeah, it can also be really hard to threaten in the back to corner situation. Ooh. The Nicky classic. And we'll probably see him get most of the way to the corner. Yeah.
Okay, and banish and shift, unfortunately, not doing anything for him. Nicky will probably save some meter. This is the game here now.
Yeah. I mean, even without the combo, 200 meter, 4 blocks of CS, there wasn't really, and having no meter on his own end, there's not really a way to come back from that. Especially given, like, how hard it can be to mash against the frame data. So, well played to Nicky. Double
perfect to start
really?
the set. Yeah. So we're going to see a lot of these like dash lows from Linne. She can still like jump Eltnum's own lows. One of the adjustments, I don't know how potent it's going to be, but like maybe Eltnum, oh wow, a reload getting him into trouble there.
Yeah.
Is maybe some forward movement into TK dive from Eltnum, but okay, double jump.
Watch out for the roll. If he didn't,
goes to Nick, yeah.
I was gonna say if he didn't block the dash block the normal, he was definitely rolling, and kind of just saw it happen a little later. Oh no!
Another DP in that situation. That's absolutely I didn't get to play, so I wanted to try something.
Yeah.
DP.
Yeah, see what that's exactly what I'm talking about in terms of the dealing with air movement. What are you gonna press there? Nothing's really a great option because it doesn't beat enough of Linne's options.
Yeah.
And now he's just sitting on a full meter with no CS. Red beat.
Yeah, I think in that scenario, nice DP. Outnum has to basically use her EX DP. That's like maybe the one thing. Oh no, gave up the VO.
This is it.
Yeah.
He can't. Yep. I don't think he can win this.
I think he can. He still has enough time, but the advantage was definitely for Nick here.
Yeah, if he had gotten a hit off with the VO, even just a throw, I think it would have been a lot quite a reasonable thing to expect a comeback. But when you get to the point where you're about to lose grid with VO,
yeah, it's really rough.
Yeah.
Okay. You can get a micro dash confirm off of that. Oh, that was. I thought 214B also allows you to do that.
Maybe.
Yeah, I watched Axel do it to Gasol, so I'm pretty confident in that.
Okay.
So this is a very good start for Athos this time.
Oh, he drops the combo, loses the corner.
Yeah. And now he's giving up a lot of grid books to his opponent, and the cycle will go to Nick. He has a big life lead, but the resource lead, not super great. You're basically at Nick's mercy here.
I like the...
Oh, hop on the low.
I was about to say, I love the way Athos is playing it by blocking everything, and then he gets hit by airborne Kuga.
Oh no, another VO! Oh, this is unfortunate. I think Nick might be able to kill him with this. It's gonna be close.
It is gonna be very close. It was actually the second to last hit that killed. And he lost all his meter because he decided to VO.
Yeah. Okay, that's a very good start.
It is. No enhanced bullets means it's not as great as it could be, but it
Still, 3400 basically is a fantastic start off. So you're working with Proration from Assault Starter here. Have to be careful. Good tech. CS DP. Oh no! Even showed the cheater missed. Unfortunately, Nicky is going to take the corner off of that. Nice shot.
This is he drops it, but that was one of the situations where I would think you would spend floor pull.
I think you stripped. You definitely stripped there. Okay, knockdown.
Oh my god, this is a kill.
Yeah, that's a kill.
It will last long enough, and he has made it last long enough.
Yep. Oh!
No!
And then we got the classic Nick rolls. Got the Dark Souls.
Oh, no.
Nick Souls.
Well played, Nick. I am... watching it.
A new sacrifice comes to you.
That's extremely unfortunate for Athos. Yeah. Athos basically, I think, had game 3 in the bag.
He lost,
but some unfortunate drops basically was the difference.
Yeah, and he lost the corner, and that just kind of sucks. Losing the positioning is almost certainly going to cost you like actual health. Because because the situation is, your rhythm is disrupted and you're put in a bad situation positionally. I don't know how many times I think you could just go watch games, and every time someone gets put in that kind of situation where their Oki goes wrong because of a drop or a misinput and they're repositioned in a way they don't expect, they end up just eating a combo for it. And it costs them a lot more than just the corner, right?
Yeah, definitely agree with that. I think if Athos is going to make an adjustment, again, he's going to be in loser semifinals at this point.
Yeah.
One of the big things is he's going to have to find an answer, like you mentioned, leading into game 1, because Line's air options kind of like dominate both the horizontal gunshot range and the low range. You have to figure out something else. IC gunshot is probably a little bit too slow, but if you can't do it normally, you probably have to play for positioning. Yeah. And of course you want to make sure that your combos are completing correctly. Yep. But we're going to move past that into Gordo versus Fatista. Fatista being the best character in the game, but Gordo even though he might be a weaker character depending on who you talk to, I think he's equipped at least to play the mid-range game against Fatista to a point. So we'll see what
Mortal
Star
Slide.
adjustments here.
Mortal Slide is a very good button. Especially how well it outranges Batista's 5C, for example.
Yep. Okay.
I would have liked to see a green shield there. He went the cycle, thankfully.
I think in contrast to most characters, like that doing ball late, like B-ball, kind of plays into the ranges that Gordon wants to be in. He can start placing like 5C and Mortal Slide. Although it seems like, yeah, there we go. Star is a little less inclined to control that space with Mortal Slide, perhaps because of 6-6C. But June is just dash blocking here.
But he
There
has
we go.
one single cycle. This is like he starts one every cycle, and you can tell because if you look at the meter, Star has way more meter given the lack of combos.
You know, fuzzy dash block. No, we're just gonna wait.
What?
That was a curious situation there. Yeah, guard thrust that.
Yep.
Not bad. Uh-oh. That could have turned into a big combo.
I think he was a little far.
Tech time on B-ball has more than enough time for dash 6-6C.
This is awful for Star because now he lost the HP lead. So I kind of want to see him just wake up CS. CS for meter. CS for meter. Just immediately CS for...
Nope. Instead, he tried to wake up with a super. I'm pretty sure it got crossed up.
Yeah.
He wanted to super and then CS to make sure that he won the game and got meter. He tried to max out on everything, but unfortunately it didn't go the way he would have liked.
Yeah. He ended up going for everything and getting nothing, right? Nice footsie.
Yeah, 5C and Mortal Slide probably should be the key components to Star's game until we have this corner position here. Double overhead, nice. So he should keep the next cycle.
Absolutely no way he... Okay, well played.
Yeah. Kind of surprised that he let the combo drop instead of just doing the assimilation ender.
Probably a miss him.
Yeah. Nice dash throw.
Yep.
Okay.
Finishes the combo, gets the nice 2,000 damage. Does a safe jump.
Backstep, gets caught by 6-6C.
Yeah, but June can't win Vorpal here. 2C, or that works too.
So that'll be a pickup. Nice. Yeah, drops his combo to make sure that he could dash.
He wants to be as close as possible so that June is uncomfortable, right? 2-2 ACS?
It's really good. Unfortunately for him, he whiffed the follow-up. I'm pretty sure he dropped the combo, basically to get a jump start on the next Vorpal, or the grid cycle after the combo.
That is a really smart thing to do. No, don't press buttons.
Yeah.
You're now in, this is really bad because he's in chip to lose. And there's the chip.
Yeah, there's still plenty of time though. There's 30 seconds.
That's fair.
Unfortunately, the back tech actually gave him the cycle. He tried to slide under that. Why are you doing that? You have the life lead. Star, what are you doing? Okay. The flash kick ended up bailing him out, but
that was
if there's one thing that I would advise for anyone playing against Fatista, if you have the lead and the cycle, please do not do anything stupid. Please, just hold on to it. If you need to guard thrust to maintain advantage or whatever, let that happen. Do not let Fatista comeback happen to you if you can have something to do with it. Like I mentioned before, we saw the counter hit B-ball pick up. Unfortunately, he missed the 5A on the other side.
Oh my god, that is disgusting. And this does so much damage too.
Yeah,
Good
lot of
delay.
damage.
Dodges the setup.
Yeah, good throw.
Okay, high low. No. Mid.
Yeah, mid to the low there. Oh my god. CS. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not a huge fan of that sequence because he just spent 2 resources to get 2+2.
Yeah. To put himself still in the corner, or to keep himself in the corner. CS. Yep, spin the meter, get 24 back.
Yeah, it's one of those things I kind of see a lot is people play too not greedy, too What's the opposite of greedy in this
Safe.
game? Safe, yeah. You need to play a lot more greedy when you're in that kind of situation, right?
Back throw, but he's still fine. Waking up with buttons. Okay.
Classic.
Never mind. Would have been. Well, still was a side switch. Okay. So flash kick was off the table at least for a little bit.
Okay. I want to see an sim here.
Yeah, I would have liked to see that too.
That was a waste of meter. And when we said we wanted to see a sim, not exactly how I envisioned it, at least.
Yeah, but it works out. Star now on set point.
I like that forward dash from Batista.
Yeah.
Gets
It's
caught.
clipped by Mortal Slide, so this is quite a strong start to Star.
Yeah.
Gonna guarantee himself the cycle.
I like this. Play that distance.
So very good positioning. I would like to see some 5Cs get pressed here.
Yeah, I don't want to see the force function because it actually just cost him the Vorpal cycle. He would have won that if he didn't do an FF.
This time. BL strip, yeah. JJ.
Yeah.
That was a very good shield. Forcing him to spend this resource. No, yeah.
Oh,
Unfortunate. So now...
I don't think any one of his reversals would have actually won there. I think they would have all
I
gotten.
don't think so either.
Good.
Tech. 660. Oh, okay. Micro dash throw.
I like that.
Simulation, yep.
Grab the meter.
Yeah. Flash kick happens, but you're fine to eat that actually. You
CS
can't
for the
eat the
turn.
next thing. Oh! That was a good fuzzy jump. Oh, no! Now he doesn't have the lead. That was another opportunity to kill him.
No, he doesn't. Okay, well, June just kind of blows Vorpal. Okay, press.
Still has plenty of time. He has the lead, and that's going to be the finish.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
What an unfortunate chain of events.
Yeah.
Let's see this round start.
ディバイド
Slide.
One of Batista's only highs coming out. Assault JV.
Yeah, caught the back step. Unfortunately, no counter hit. He was a little bit too slow. Yeah, gonna CS that. So that's good positioning.
Yeah.
It's just that actually, like, outside of 660 from those ranges, it's pretty slow.
10 frame 2C notwithstanding. But that's really easy to jump, so.
Yep. Yeah, the 10 frame 2C, 10 frame 2B. Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah. Star getting really impatient. I
Getting
would like to see him... Oh, you could have reversaled that as well.
he got a good call out with the VO though.
Yeah. There we go. Caught him. Unfortunately, he didn't finish the combo. Even got him to stand with the standing low. Oh, okay. That one actually interrupted. Shot off the 5C.
Don't lose the cycle star. You kind of.
Yeah, kind of needs it. Even the whiff throw ended up getting him the cycle. Oh, that CS was probably not the best there, but
It gave
so
him.
Star, yeah, Star's gonna run.
Yeah. I think you try to just get meter there from your CS. It's very hard to actually approach and win that.
Yeah. Nice assimilation there. I really like that one.
Throw whiff is plus. We're gonna see Star with Vorpal.
It's getting stripped though, of
We're gonna see
course.
Star with no Vorpal.
Okay. Setting up ball. Good shield, or good stand block rather than shield. Star will still get the cycle, which is good.
There we go.
Nice punish. Okay. There we go. Caught him standing.
Plus enough for the easy confirm too. Please don't use force function so much.
I would love to see 5Cs here instead of force function, to be honest.
Yeah. Plus, you have a cancel option, right? You can two AF, or you can mortal, or you can do whatever. Oh, that extended hurt box. Now he's in a really bad position, right?
Yeah, this is quite bad for him. No meter spent from June, just the knockdown. Yeah, there's the B-drill. So it's still not going to kill. It's going to give him the lead. We have a potential setup here. This is for more advantage. Okay. Jump over. Don't have the lead yet, but unfortunately June just kind of stands up. Maybe he tried to backdash again? I don't know.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I would have liked to see a crouch shield. It's a bit risky, obviously, because throw is a very viable solution there. But personally, I would be a fan of crouch shield in that situation because it prevents the chip from a wake up special, right? Yep. Like meaty special, and then you can just keep shielding. And you have, I think he had 20 meter over 100, so he could shield VO to run the timer out. Right.
Could shield VO. I think shield flash kick or just raw flash kick actually won him the game there as well. The life differential was not so far that he couldn't just choose that. And like he had actually chose it in 2 rounds that he lost. He gave up the flash kick at the end, and Star was like, okay, well, you know, maybe you just have an opinion about something, so I'm just gonna mute you. And it worked out that time. So we are going to get back to the run back of, I think, winners quarters, winners semis, that Athos took 2-0. So Star, I think
2-1, right?
2-1, yeah, it was 2-1.
Yeah.
Star, I thought, had good control of that matchup, but kind of like went away from what was winning. So I'd like to see his adjustment here. Alternatively, I mean, he could go to his Mika, he could go to some other characters if he so chooses as well. We had highlighted some of the issues with Outnum as a character, and I think Mika is one of the characters that can put herself in aerial states that Outnum has to deal with.
Yeah.
But this positioning that Star is kind of maintaining here, or was maintaining at the start of the round, is also a point of power for Gordo as well.
Definitely.
Yeah, gunshot. Nothing really coming from that though. Oh no.
This is the combo.
That was a good shield but got thrown. Immediate spin on CS. Probably not the greatest CS usage though.
Well, it's kind of unfortunate. Outnum doesn't really have options to get back in, so she's kind of forced to do it. So yes, it's not optimal, but it's also like, what other option do you have?
I think you maintain corner possession as much as you can, and you keep that resource for DP.
Good.
That's my ideal though.
Oh.
Yep, gets the sim. Okay, just waited. That was a good backstep, even though it lost in the cycle. What did Star press that got hit by 2C? Not entirely sure.
Really late 4B.
It's a good round start 2-4X. Microdash 2B.
Drops the confirm. It's a hard confirm. I labbed Outnum for a while and I never was able to get that consistently. Okay, CS. I really don't think CS was the right option in terms of resource spend.
Ooh, I like the mid combo reload. That was really good. Yeah, I think a meter use is probably the superior option there. You keep your CS.
He just wasted 100 meter through orbital blocks, right? It's really unfortunate. And he doesn't even spend there. It's a little. He's losing chip damage even.
Yeah. Again, I feel like you almost certainly have to spend some of your meter there. It's kind of like objectively incorrect to just sit at 200 meter if you're not going to spend it for like IW or whatever.
If you're at the health differential, there's absolutely no reason for you to spend on the meter, right? Unless like it doesn't noticeably appreciate your time to kill, but we're not in that kind of we weren't in that situation.
Yeah.
So we're kind of just seeing him be in the health deficit and then being forced to make awful decisions because of the health deficit, right?
Yep. I want to say that the health differential too wasn't so extreme that like a metered usage wasn't going to make up for it. and that's kind of the decision making that I would like to see from some players when they're holding on to 200 meter. Because again, you know, with CS, you're going to naturally fill that resource.
Yeah.
But you can't fill it if it's already full.
Definitely.
Combo. So this will fill some additional resource. I like the delay cancel. That was really good. And it got him the cycle.
Good.
Yep.
Punish.
There you go. That'll be a round.
I like the mash on Athos' part for what it's worth. It's one of those places where if he catches Star being greedy, it's pretty much a really good way to make a comeback, right?
Yeah.
Good as him. Wins the cycle.
Oh, but he held up. I think that was probably a stand tank.
Yeah. Please don't spend your... Okay, good.
Yep. Use the implied threat of CS.
Yep. Oh.
Please spin some meter here. Please spin some meter. Oh my god, you have so many blocks right now.
He's about to do 6-3 BCS. Mark my word.
I feel like 2-2C right there would have been a viable answer near corner.
Anything. Okay, well that's it. Oh.
Okay.
Definitely CS there, because 6-6C is actually minus enough that if you see no cancel, you can punish.
Yep. So, Star gets on the board, 1-1. Again, this set is 3 out of 5, because it's Losers Finals.
I don't really like the backwalk fell from backwalk of Athos. It lost him a bit of grit. He gets the good dash-in button though, and he converts it into corner and the cycle. Good. Oh wow, amazing.
Good
I like that.
Oh, trade on the 3C. I wonder what possessed Star to just press 3C there.
It's a good button for mashing, right?
It is. That proximity is a little dangerous, but you know, you can't gain without taking some risks sometimes.
That's completely fair. Not sure I agree with Veil Off as your tool of choice for winning Vorpal Cycle there.
Yeah.
And now you're just...
It's a good throw, but not enough there.
Yeah. Not to mention, you didn't get anything out of the VO.
Yeah.
Spend meter? Thank you.
Nice.
Sorry.
Good job, Star.
Yeah. Plus frames.
So, like I mentioned before, Star has moved away from round start options, like 5C, like Mortal Slide. He's really just let Athos run in.
Yeah, and
it's very curious considering his early control of the start of the games here.
So I'm just a little. I'm hoping that Athos spends more time using his bullets for plus frames.
Yeah.
Gord has a lot harder. Okay, that was unfortunate.
Very minus.
Yeah. This is where you VO, by the way. Or that actually works really well.
Yeah, that worked well. Now he doesn't have to worry about the timer. Next hit should kill. Yep.
Perfect throw. Okay, round start. Oh my god! It's one
Salt getting caught by 214X.
So rare that you actually see that, because the window is very tight for the 214X.
So that's a very good start. Stand Tech gets called out.
Reset.
Oh wow, yeah, I didn't even notice that reset.
Yeah, I don't think anyone did actually, because Athos did an assault route. Oh, unfortunate. I would have liked to see him CS on reaction just to verify what was going on. Frame traps.
Stood up again, yeah. There we go, air throw. That should be the end of the game there.
Yep.
That was a very risky option from Star, considering that, like,
yeah.
I would say that the CS usage from Athos...
They have one more game to play.
Yes.
That is correct. I forgot to update the number of...
The CS usage from Athos, I don't think warranted the risky the risky assault there. I think you probably could have diffused the situation just by maintaining the corner position, but Star will have to take that into account and make his adjustment in this upcoming game 4.
Yeah, assault plus frames are really, really hard to give up though. So that's probably one of the things that was going through his mind. To be in close, he needs the plus frames because then he can run his game like this, right? And if you run the game like this, you're in a really good spot.
Yep. Although, unfortunately, he pushed himself out. Yeah. That CS usage,
I don't think you need it because it's not like Gord is going to be able to whiff punish that on reaction. And if anything, CSing gives him a better chance of messing up your next move.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see... I was going to say... Oh, wow, that did kill. I'm a little surprised. I was going to say, I would have liked to see Sivo there to verify the kill, but
he didn't even need it.
Damage. He knows his damage, so...
Good back step. The last hit. So what
he does.
Yeah. What I was going to see in a previous situation, like with that gunshot CS that he used earlier, was like Mortal Slide could have been used to whiff punish that.
Yep.
But it looked like unfortunately. But it looks like the late cancel into laser ended up diffusing the whiff punish that he tried. I'd like to see some meter usage here from Athos if possible.
Meter use. I'm pretty sure that was him trying to use meter.
Yeah. Okay.
Well
nice
played.
Adjustment on the wall. Very well played.
Oh, he was so close to taking the round. DP?
So Star doesn't have a whole lot of resources here. He has the or the CS resource now though. Assaulted right over the low. You can do a stronger combo here. Okay, 3K, reset.
I don't agree with the reset. It worked out. But resetting there is almost certainly a recipe for disaster, right?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Especially, it's a lot different when you're resetting like as a close range character versus as a far like at a bigger distance, right? When you're right up next to them, you put yourself in so much danger from a variety of options, which is why, personally, I think it was a bad idea that just happened to pay off in this.
Another assault over the low.
Yeah. Perfect spacing on the 3C. I think that was the last 2 or 3 frames of active right there.
Yeah. And walk back, yeah, assimilation. I understand the urgency for assimilation. It's a strong tool from Gordo, but I always happen to wonder if dash up frame trap is not more useful for Gord in some of these situations. It definitely gets you more of a return than assimilation does. So now Athos will be fighting his way out of the corner. StarXunderscore gets called out. Uh-oh. Overhead.
I want to call out that that's the second time that Star has lost to CS 5A.
Yeah.
I would like to see him not press buttons because of how disadvantaged it is.
2C actually got beat by 5C. Okay. Fuzzy. No. Okay, went with the dash. I don't think Athos has shown that he is going to block the Fuzzy. Unfortunately, that tactical decision did not pay off.
Has the ground bounce start. Expensive.
Oh. Tried the extension.
He's in a bad spot. He's in an awful spot now. He has no bullets. He has no grid. The BO is a super risky option here, but I think it's what we're going to see.
It's this position where, oh my goodness, EX shot.
Yeah, well, it gets the reload, it's safe on block, and if you catch your opponent, it's worth bonus points.
Yeah, backstep Reaper. Okay. No. This is not going to kill. He needs one more opportunity here. What's it going to be? DP. Very good choice from Athos. You have to be careful. Star. Okay. Yeah, no shielding from Athos. Oh, never mind.
Why did you call it? I'm not actually a particular fan of DP there because it can be really hard to convert into a situation. But I also don't play with it.
Oh no. C-Sync getting him into trouble, but he still has 100 meter to do it again if he wants.
And he wins more. This is really big.
Uh-oh. Yeah. CS Sync! Very good choice from Athos. And he's very close to getting access to another one. Yep, that's 100 meter right there.
Good, bro.
Steals the tech. Uh-oh. This situation is really dangerous for Star. Yeah. Star didn't want to weigh a sim there. Oh no, the shield. What are you going to do, Star? You're just going to get hit by counter hit 2B. This is really bad. He could die from this.
What is...
I don't know what that adjustment was, but Star is back in business. He probably wants to drop this. No, concentrate. Okay, he just spit CS anyway.
Holy. I'm astounded, and that's it. That was map fight.
And that's the set right there.
Yeah, I'm well played, I guess.
Yeah, well played from Athos.
Yeah, I got caught off guard super hard at the end there. I don't know about you, Jushiji, but...
Yeah, I did too. I honestly thought he dropped that combo to concentrate. He did get the cycle anyway, but, you know, the paid masher in Athos' tag carried him through the end of that set. So...
Yeah, that was, if you had asked me how I thought the set was going to end, I would not have listed what just happened.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel the same way. I guess to kind of end it in the discussion of this set, one of the things that I would like Star to do is to reevaluate his neutral situation, especially from round start. I think that if you are giving up a lot of control to allow Eltnum to run in at you without really having the tools to like be able to force that situation, you're going to run into trouble. Like we saw early start in the winter semifinal set where he positioned himself to start whiff punishing gunshots and whiff punishing 2C, and we didn't see that at all in this set. He went away from it in winter semifinals even though it was working, and then he didn't go back to it for this set.
I mean,
So-
all it takes is one well-placed answer to completely mentally lock out an opponent from doing an option. And if you get two of those blocks in place, you can make your game really easy, right?
Yep.
And the sign of a good player is realizing that just because they answered it doesn't mean you have to stop doing it.
Yep.
Obviously, with a grain of salt, because if they are answering something you're doing and they keep answering it, then obviously you should stop doing it, right? But oftentimes someone will get not necessarily a lucky call out, but not something that you're gonna be like, I'm gonna look for this. Most of the time, it's not like I'm gonna look for this. I'm gonna do this in this situation, and then the result is I'm never gonna have to deal with this situation again. But that's what happens a lot. I know it happens to me. It happens
to me as well.
When we played last week, that was a big part of our set, and I see it all the time in top 8s where people just give up options.
All I can say from experience in those situations is like, it's like confirmation bias. It's like, okay, you know, this thing got punished, like in Star's case, maybe, you know, getting gunshot through his mortal slide with punish was like, all right, I can't do this shit anymore. Like this is like, it didn't even really pay off that much because like, it's not like Eltnum gets a whole lot of damage off of that, but we have the opportunity to see it from a different lens.
Yep.
And experiencing it as a player. I mean, as a player, I saw you dive kick my 6-6C after I shielded your spike, and that basically caused me, like, that was like, oh shit, I can't do that anymore. Then you utilized that to great effect in our set, for example.
That was one of 2 examples from our set early on. There was that, and then there was a hard 3v call out on your assault on Wake Up.
Yep.
And I didn't have to deal with either of those options the rest of the set. And it really goes to show how powerful the mental aspect can be in these kinds of situations, and how important it is to make sure that you're not just adapting in the one moment, but you're adapting continuously, right? You can't just adapt at one point, because then you'll be stuck at the after adaptation, and it's like you've never really adapted at all.
Exactly. Well said.
Thank you.
So with that, we are going to transition. Unless actually, do you want us to do a little bit of advertising before we go into our grand final set here?
I would absolutely love that.
All right. So first up, we can probably get to our Matcherino. We have 4250 in there.
Nice.
So hopefully some other people can feel empowered to donate. Both Angel and I have matched each other with $20 into the pot. We have Gallant Horn, aka Wish, who did some quests to push in $1.40. We have Micaiah FGC, who dropped in $1.10. So there are plenty of other opportunities to also contribute to the pot. You could do personal direct donations, like I believe Angel and I did. We have our quest down the sidebar, which our lovely streamer Datagram will show off to you. You can retweet Will English, Matcherino 2 times for 2 different prize pool rewards. You can retweet NYC Furby. We also have the marketplace. You see our lovely Athena shirt and the Lunar Bout shirt in black. $12 from a purchase of either of these shirts will go directly into our prize pool. I think if you scroll up just a little bit, Datagram, it has our payout structure too. I think with this size, the winner will take all of it. Yeah, so 2 to 9, the winner of this set will actually come up about $40 or more.
Not bad for a free tournament, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, the code was not approved in time, so you will just have to use the website to donate. Yeah, so there's no code for the Matcherino today, unfortunately. I believe there should be a code in time for Sunday's events, which are +R and Melty. I've entered both of those events, by the way. Shoutouts to Rollback. I don't anticipate myself to get pretty far. I'm looking forward to a nice and fun 0-2 in both of those events. But without further ado, I think we can start transitioning into our grand final set. On player 1 side, we're going to have Nicky Videogames with his Line, hoping to win 2 straight tournaments in a row here at Lunar Phase. We have Athos, who had defeated Star in losers finals to get to this point. The first set was dominated by Nicky, so I'd like to see if there's some adjustments from Athos this time around.
Yeah, and I think we can hope. I have good hopes, because he did lose to Star and then beat Star in a way that I might argue is. Oh no, he beat Star in the first. That was June who lost to Star. My apologies.
Indeed.
Sorry.
So, Spinach with some advice for Athos in the chat. Stop using 2C Abare because Line can hop over it. And stop using VO. If you're going to DP, just go ahead and DP. Nice fuzzy dash block on the roll. Okay, 2B start. So we got our first start from Athos, looking warmed up.
I love how the reload gives him the side.
It looks like Athos is definitely playing with more confidence, but I like the fuzzy shield from Nick there.
I would like to see some green shields here, just 1 or 2, so that Nick doesn't have 120 meter waiting for him, right?
Yeah. Because he's quickly gone to 200. The next hit will roll. Oh, that's ambiguous.
Yeah, that was 100%. I don't think you have to imagine Nicky doesn't even know which direction which side it's gonna be on, right?
Yeah. Spinach would shake his head on that one. You're going to throw away all of your hard-earned meter. Luckily, you didn't die for it, so you have 1 chance. Stand throw gets clipped by the mid 2A first hit.
Whoa!
Oh, what a dive kick! What a fantastic answer from Nick.
Yeah, these stray hits are adding up. That's a full combo of stray hits for Nicky.
And because of the VO, look at the meter differential. He's just barely hit 70. And Nick is already nearing 200.
This is
You have
it.
to be careful. Yeah. This is...
Even with excluding the red beam, this is it.
Okay, one.
Actually, he might have broken.
He hit the ground, so I don't think this will kill.
Yeah, I think he rooted improperly, and it's unfortunate because he had a very easy perfect. Not only did he let the body hit the floor, he also used the super after SIVO rather than before. Oftentimes, super button SIVO is more effective than SIVO buttons.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, buttons. Wow, getting caught on 1AD.
That was a very good delay DP. Oh, no air throw. Okay, nice ground throw. So Nick, I think, has felt pretty... Oh no. That is a classic... yeah, I think that's a classic like mid-level, like mid-high level tactic. It's just like, hey, we know that you're going to see us. Oh my god! So I'm just gonna DP you instead. So you want to press something because you're using your CS to initiate offense, but you don't get to do that because I'm gonna DP you. Nice gunshot.
Hard combo, especially on a small character, because you have to do a very specific jump sequence.
Good block on the hand. We're just gonna run him into the corner. Shoutouts to Miller.
Well played on not over shielding there. Catches, presumably catches jump with the 5A. But unfortunately doesn't confirm and leads him into a very bad knockdown situation in this game.
So Nick with the cycle. Another roll. So Nick is getting comfortable again. Probably gonna see some meter use. No, CVO. Yeah, not enough time on that one. But it doesn't matter. 2AA. I think Athos stood up. And we're coming very close to speedrunning this grand finals. Nick just a game away from the win. Runs right into the 660. Classic.
You have to wonder.
Strong start from Nick.
You have to wonder what he was doing though, because it wasn't counter hit, so it was kind of just probably a missed dash block.
Missed dash block. That can also catch jump startup or assault startup, so it's entirely possible it was one of those three options. Man, Nick with a lot of control. Really, there's like not a whole lot to talk about. Like,
yeah.
Nick is just taking the initiative from the start, and you know that perfect puts him in prime position for the tournament-winning set or tournament-winning round.
If only
Jump shot to hold him off, but roll through 2B. Oh, dive kick over the low.
He's gonna need he's gonna need 2 more combos to kill here though.
Yeah. Oh, wow, okay, he picked that up too? So, you have one more guess?
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Not a huge... Okay, so this might pay off.
Yeah. I feel like you have to at least spin one bar here.
And then you...
Yep.
This is fine. I'll agree to this. 5k is worth it. But you have to be really careful here, because you're basically putting all your eggs in this one CS for your resource.
Yeah. But that was quite good until... Oh, that's not gonna kill. Yeah. CSDP? Oh my god, that was so risky.
Oh my gosh. Well played to Nicky Long Island Videogames.
Yeah. A straight sweep of winners and grand finals.
I think a straight roll is a little more important. Damn, I can't find the word. But yeah.
You could just say that Nick rolled through the competition this LP. So, yeah, Carp with some good advice for Athos. If you can't react, you gotta fuzzy the throw there.
Yep.
I don't fuzzy throw, I just fuzzy 2-2, which is not really a fuzzy. Like, you can't cross that input up.
Yep.
I'm just gonna delay DP you every time. But, you know, obviously Athos, not fortunate enough to have a cheapo 2-2 DP character like I do.
You're the only character with a T2 DP.
Yeah.
Except for EX scored, but that super is a bit of a fun one, right?
Yeah. In theory, Batis can also like flash kick that because you just hold down then up. So it's like, yeah, okay, doesn't really matter. But in any case, it looks like Nicky will be the winner of our $42.60 bonus. Congratulations to him. He's now consecutive winner, so we have a two-time winner here.
Mm-hmm. Well played.
Yeah, very well played. I was really looking forward to Star versus Nicky, but Athos showed up in a big way to deny him from getting that chance. I think Stranger also denied Star the last week from getting that set against him in Grand Finals the last time as well. But what can you do? We had already actually talked about Star and maybe some of the adjustments he might want to make in the future. For Athos, I think he just kind of got overwhelmed. Like, the matchup is not a good matchup, at least in neutral. But I think he got overwhelmed by Nicky's like awareness of the matchup and like willingness to just kind of press in those situations.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It doesn't help when you go up against the player's signature move and lose almost every time either. That can be really demoralizing to face, right? Every time he rolls, you get hit.
Yep.
Like, even though you shouldn't necessarily be getting hit because it's not a real mix-up, it still just feels awful.
Not too much more to be said here. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. Thank you for our 9 competitors. I'm hoping that we also get some more next time. I saw a couple people mentioned, I think the start time is was from last week, a little different than what people were used to. 9 p.m. on Friday night is a little bit of an ask maybe, but I'm glad that everybody still has come together to take advantage and compete. I'm always excited to see more uni play.
Me too. And we get to see the players grow over time, which is a big part of enjoying the scene, right?
Mm-hmm. And speaking of growing the scene and growing opportunities for our players, we can shift over maybe one last time for our Matcherino, just in case you would like to donate a little bit more for Nicky here. Again, we have about $42.60 in the pot. Wyrmidon came through with a click quest for 10 cents. You could, in theory, match Angel and my direct donation of $20 to the pot. Or you could match the 10-cent click quest. You could also match, Gallant-Horn and Makaya, who have donated a respective $1.40 and $1.10 to the pot. You could utilize those features through retweeting Will English, retweeting Matcherino 2 times, and retweeting NYC Furby. Or you have the option to buy one of the shirts in the marketplace. We have this wonderful Athena tee and a wonderful Lunar Bout tee to support our SNK brethren as they continue to thrive with the confirmation of rollback in the newest game in the KOF series, KOF 15. Shoutouts to Rome himself in the chat. Big fan. So if you'd like to donate a little bit more, please feel free. I think aside from that, we're just going to prepare to do our sign-off. We'll see you again on Sunday with Melty Blood and Guilty Gear Plus R.
Also, yeah, I did notice that you entered the Guilty Gear tournament. Who's your main in that game?
Kisuke.
Nice.
I wanted to keep it nice and simple there.
Mm-hmm. And screw that character in Strive. Why does he outpoke my big giant samurai character? Anyway,
it's pretty interesting because I've seen some discussion talking about like how weak or how strong he was. He has like a new mechanic, like he can kind of like if you're forced to block like an electric special, it changes the frame data. I think that's pretty interesting. I want to see how that's realized when the game comes out in April. But that is a conversation for a different time. For us over at LP Uni, I guess I will begin our sign off. I am Sugoi Factory's Jushiichi.
I'm Angel of Soul.
Please consider following us on Twitter if you haven't already. I'm at Engi no Jushiichi. This is at Angel of Soul. If you like what our man behind the boards is doing, aka Datagram, please follow him. I think it's at Datagram_. Is that correct? Or is it just Datagram?
It's at Gram of Data.
Gram of Data. I completely fudged that. So if you don't see me next week, just know I got yanked off the 6 for that one. But in any case, thank you for tuning in tonight. And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Peace.